again to Beer in Canada. I'm Chris, and today we're going to take a look at a local brew to Peterborough, Ontario. This is from the Publican House brewery, which is right in downtown Peterborough, and the brewery's been operational for a couple of years, but they're also trying to build a pub area, a little restaurant. So in time, you should be able to go up to Peterborough, sit down in a restaurant that's connected to the brewery, and have their beers while you have some food. This one in particular, they only sell, for the most part, they sell all their beers in growlers. And this one is the Square Nail Pale Ale, which comes in at 5.5% alcohol by volume. Let's just dive right into this. I have had this before, and let's see if I can pour without making a mess. I had hoped to do this review with somebody else kicking around, as trying to drink 1.9 liters of beer all by yourself. This could be an afternoon beer. All right, so what are we looking at here? We are looking at kind of a golden yellow color. There's a light white head on top of it. Yeah, there's kind of some big bubbles kind of clinging to the sides. You know, it looks like kind of a fairly standard type of pale ale. There's some orange-red tints to the color. Whew, there's hops. Thing is, it's not as strong. The aroma's not as strong as you'd expect from a lot of pale ales, but it's definitely there, and it's mostly hops. There's a little bit of malt in there as well, but as you'd expect from a pale ale. Good amount of hops. You can tell it's going to be a little bitter. So let's give this a sample here. Cheers. Oh yeah, bitter. Definitely a little on the bitter side for pale ales even. Dries out the tongue right in the swallow, but you really get a lot of the hops right in the back of the throat and on your palate. And that's really the first thing you're going to notice. The malts are fairly subdued in comparison. A little bit of the floral character of hops, which I kind of like. The malts are it's a good question. I mean, they're there, but you know, it's the hops that really dominate this beer. But I would guess there's some, there's a little bit of a, there's not really too much of a sweetness, but you can tell kind of some of where the malts came into play there. Yeah, it's actually a good beer. Yeah, this here is one of several beers that they have. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Publican House, because I've been up there a couple times visiting my friend Greg and his family, and Greg and a couple of his friends up there are also beer geeks, and Greg's often asking me what to go get when he hits the LCBO. But every time I'm up there, he's talking about the Publican House. So you can understand why. I've had a few of their beers. Their Head of the Fest lager this past year was not spectacular. It was a little too close to the Square Nail Pale Ale. I've had their stout before, and it was really good. They call it the 8 or better Belgian style ale. This one that one's almost impossible to get hold of for us out-of-towners, because it's only available for a short period of time, and it really depends. I guess it goes really quickly up there. But so far, from what I've had, their beers have been pretty decent. And this one here, what are we going to rate this? I like it. I think it needs to be a little better balanced towards the malts. I think there might be too much hops really for the style. I mean, I'd almost think of this as an IPA. but I do like it. So you know what? I'm going to give this a 3.5. It's a good beer. Some minor modifications, I think, to the recipe would make it a really good beer. But if you find yourself in Peterborough, you can only get this up there at the moment. A lot of the bars up there and pubs and restaurants support the Publican House by having their beers available on tap, which is always great. I love to see that. I wish that would happen more in my area where we would support local breweries, but we don't. Publican House is not available in the LCBO. Doesn't really get distributed anywhere outside of Peterborough. So if you make a road trip up there, or if you're elsewhere in Canada, if you just happen to find yourself in the Toronto area and have a few hours to kill, it's worth making the drive up to Peterborough to check this little brewery out. They make some good beers. So I am going to start working on this growler here, and thanks again for tuning in. I'll have another beer review up shortly. Thanks again. Cheers.